Topaz for Program Analysis provides an innovative, intuitive, analytical approach to application understanding that empowers IT organizations to preserve, maintain, and advance their mainframe investments. Let's begin with the centerpiece of Topaz for Program Analysis, the Runtime Visualizer. The Runtime Visualizer produces a dynamic visualization of program and I/O calls presented in the sequence in which they occurred in your application. Here we are importing a previously recorded visualization. The Runtime Visualizer will visually show program calls, access to databases, and access to MVS files as they occur during an application execution. In this example, we can see multiple calls, and now we see accessing DB2 tables, and finally calls to application code. This information is invaluable to both the experienced and inexperienced mainframe developer. And prior to Runtime Visualizer, obtaining this information would be both a painstaking and error-prone endeavor. The Runtime Visualizer allows the programmer to begin to see patterns in their applications, and also to identify a particular subset of programs that might be of interest to them for debugging, maintenance, performance, or enhancement opportunities. This visualization has identified that many programs in this application access DB2 tables. The results are also displayed in tabular format that you can export for further analysis. I'll go through a second example using an expediter debug scenario. Here we are interested in debugging one of the subroutines in our application. So we'll bring up the debug configuration, and before we start it, we'll click on the Visualization tab and activate the Runtime Visualizer. And now we'll begin our debug session. It is in the main program, so we'll let that go and run until we hit the breakpoint at the start of our subroutine of interest. Because we have Runtime Visualizer active, we can see exactly what has transpired prior to this subroutine call. The Runtime Visualizer, which does not require access to application source code, provides a dynamic, innovative view into application execution, designed specifically to allow programmers to quickly understand their applications. Topaz for Program Analysis also provides a level of impact analysis. Impact analysis leverages Compuware's mainframe online projects to give the programmer insight to their program calls and copybook hierarchies. Consistent with the Eclipse Java implementation, this gives the programmer the answers to fundamental questions when making changes. For a given program, what programs does that program call? And conversely, what programs call that program? The ability to drill down to see the complete chain. The same hierarchy information is available for copybooks. For a given program, you can see what copybooks that program includes. And for a given copybook, you can see what programs include that copybook. This information is critical in helping the programmer understand the impact of the changes they're about to incur. For instance, changing the size of a field in a copybook, they now know what programs that affects, and for those programs, what other programs they need to take into consideration. Also open programs up directly from the hierarchy view, or if you choose, from the Project Explorer view. Topaz for Program Analysis also provides some analysis when you're editing or browsing a COBOL or PL1 program. At a glance, we can see that this program accesses one file and two DB2 tables. It has also built a program structure chart. Clicking on a paragraph or procedure in the structure chart will take you to that line of code in the editor. Extra analysis is also provided through colorization. Here the color indicates the McCabe metrics of the paragraphs, a measure of the paragraph's complexity. You can control that with a right-click and selecting metric color, for instance, to highlight the paragraphs that do program calls. Program analysis also provides logic flow for the given paragraph or procedure. This allows the programmer to visually follow the logic. Again, clicking on an entry in the logic flow synchronizes to that line of code in the editor. Finally, data flow will show you the flow of information through variables in the program. For a given variable, it will show you what fields affect that field or are affected by that field. Clicking on a connector will take you to the associated line of code. You can expand the data flow to also show you where this field is used in conditional statements. Another icon allows you to control also displaying aliases, fields that occupy the same place in storage, such as redefines. And finally, to get a complete view, you can increase the depth of the view to not only show fields that affect this field, but also, for instance, fields that affect this field. This information is displayed both visually and in a table to give the programmer the complete understanding of any impact that any change of a variable might have. Topaz for Program Analysis uses innovative, intuitive visualization to give your programmers rapid and accurate understanding of even the most complex or poorly documented mainframe code.